Mumbai lawyer Pallavi Purkayastha's killer, who had jumped parole just last year, has now been arrested. Sajjad Mughal, who was sentenced to life in jail in 2014 for the ghastly killing, left a jail in Maharashtra's Nasik in March last year, ostensibly to visit his unwell mother. But he never returned. Pallavi, who was 25 years old and a lawyer and a national-level swimmer, she was brutally assaulted and murdered by Mughal, who worked as a watchman in her apartment building in central Mumbai. All right, Saurabh joins us for more on this. Saurabh, what is the police saying so far? It is an interesting case. One doesn't really understand why, in fact, this happened. Why is it that he was able to escape on parole? But this is not the first time this has happened. This happens very often. So what is the police saying now?
Well, for starters, it was immense shock when actually Sajjad Mughal, who was actually serving a life sentence for brutally committing a crime, had jumped parole and escaped. And at that time, several questions were raised over how he was allowed to go on parole and why it was given to him and under what circumstances was it given to him. Following that, there were several procedures put in place for granting of parole, especially to criminals who committed rape and murder. And after that, those procedures we know so far are being followed. But coming back specifically to this case, it was a horrific crime. Pallavi was living in Mumbai. She was a young lawyer working with a reputed company, and and on one of these days, the security guard at her apartment complex in Wadala actually stole the keys. Then he used those same keys to enter her flat and committed that horrific crime. When she resisted, he was arrested by the police in good time. He was tried, he was convicted, he was given the life sentence, and then he, of course, jumped parole. So the hopes of justice for the family were running out, given the fact that he was seen in Kashmir and many believed that he had slipped across the border. But now that he's been arrested, it does restore some sense of justice, at least for those who've lost a daughter, a friend, a sister. And this is something that perhaps does restore some amount of faith, some amount of justice.
All right, Saurabh, that's absolutely the point. But one still needs to take stock of why this was allowed and what the police will do as a measure to make sure that this doesn't happen again. Thanks so much for that.